the Auburn Blitz Podcast, your direct source for all Auburn all the time with Brett Pritchard, Faith Richardson, and Randy Lee.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Blitz Podcast here on a Wednesday, Christmas Eve morning edition of the Auburn Blitz. We're so glad that you joined us wherever and whenever it is that you join us each and every day on the Auburn Blitz and making Auburn Blitz part of your daily Auburn athletic intake. Happy Christmas Eve morning to you, Faith. How are you?
Good morning. Merry Christmas Eve to you and to everybody watching. It is not as cold as I thought it might be on Christmas Eve.
You don't know what you're going to get in Georgia or in Alabama or wherever in the Southeast this time of year. It's pushing 70 degrees.
And my college roommate just sent pictures and videos of it snowing.
And just
in New Jersey, I'm like, okay, this is a normal Christmas, and I could be wearing shorts and a T-shirt outside right now.
That's exactly right, and feel fine with it. And I got people, not that there's any grass to cut, but he's running a lawnmower over his yard, I guess, to groom it right now. But I think he's like, well, it feels pretty good outside. I think I'll go jump on my lawnmower and ride it around. But it does 75 degrees on Christmas Eve is what the high is today. So anyway, we are on a recorded edition. So for all of you that are commenting, we're not ignoring you. I think Faith said that yesterday that we were going to do a recorded podcast. So we are here. So you can comment away, but we're not going to be able to interact with you. But we'll go back and read them. We see every comment, by the way, that pops up. Every one of them, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So we do see them all. So go out there and throw them out, and we'll talk about them maybe on the next episode. But more rumors, potential targets, part 2. We talked about that yesterday, and then evaluating this basketball team where it is right now with one more game to play before SEC play. And we'll dive into all that, but. We went a weekend without having anything, or actually a couple of days. We knew we couldn't make it another day. Robert Woodyard, the 22nd player, has indicated that he's going to get in the portal on January the 2nd. And had a good season for Auburn. Had 67 tackles, 7 for loss, had 2 sacks on the season. Really kind of had a coming out party, has been here for a while and waited his turn and had a good season, and now feels like he needs to go out and test the waters. And you and I talked about this yesterday. People get in the portal for multiple different reasons, and maybe he feels like his stock went up and he's going to try it out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, you heard his name how many times last year getting called this past season.
Right.
Between him and Xavier Adkins, it was back and forth. I mean, they were making plays not only for themselves, but for the other guys out on the team. It's definitely a loss for him not potentially returning. I mean, again, he might just be going and testing the waters, but there's a really good chance that somebody's going to throw a lump sum of money out to him because he is that good and he is that good of a player. But yeah, it hasn't slowed down really, Brett, by quality of players that are entering, if that makes sense. Like at the beginning, there were obviously a little bit more frequently announcements, but now you're getting a lot more quality guys that are entering the portal. And so that's frustrating, but also, again, you haven't heard anything positive because everyone can only talk about leaving. No one can talk about where they're going to go.
Right. That's the 9th defensive player to get, or say he's going to get in the portal out of 22. So, again, everybody felt like DJ Durkin coming back would salvage most of the defenders from getting in the portal. It hadn't happened because you look at a lot of these guys contributed from, Morris Williams, Kayan Lee, Jay Crawford. Let me look through here. Obviously, Robert Woodyard. I can keep going down the list. Several guys are key contributors on the defensive side that have decided to at least test the water. So, again, doesn't mean they're leaving. It does mean that they indicate they want to try it out and see. Now, here's the other kicker. How many of these guys have had conversations with another school already? And this is one thing to watch. We talked about that January 2nd being on a Friday. That Monday is going to be interesting because over the weekend, I think you're going to see a lot of announcements quick. It's going to be portal opens, enter the portal, immediately declare where you're going. I want to see how many right out of that first 24, 48 hours come out and announce that they're leaving X school and going to Y school over here.
Brett, I didn't even think about that. That really will show that there has been communication between schools, players, everyone. And it's interesting because is there going to be any repercussion if anyone were to find out that they were talking?
Are you kidding?
There is just
these transactions have already taken place for a lot of players, and they know their destination. Look, we've talked to a few, and they've hinted. They came out pretty quick and said where they were going to go, or where they intend to go. So you don't just get in the portal with no plans and then make a quick announcement, and we'll see in that 24, 48-hour window which ones make that announcement and not have talked to somebody about it and gotten a deal done. You just ain't going to do it.
No, especially when you're in communication with the school that you're at, talking about your numbers and how much you think you're worth, and then somebody else has to be going and telling you what they think you're worth for you to say, oh, wait, actually, this isn't right.
Well,
for them to already enter the
right
now.
And who's Auburn done that with? Hey, choose on the streets two ways. Byron Brown. I mean, I don't think anybody. We spent a whole half of a podcast yesterday talking about Byron Brown, and so did everybody else that covers Auburn. I mean, does anybody think he's not coming here? And we gave the reasons why he possibly would go somewhere else. But I think if everybody had to bet, they would bet on Byron Brown ending up at Auburn. And there's a lot of reasons why he should end up at Auburn. But you think he just hadn't gotten any communication at all from anybody? He's just going to go cold turkey? Hey, I'll start talking to you on January 2nd. Come on, man. That ain't happening. The conversations have already been had through back channels, and they've got to get to an agreement as fast as they can so they can move forward. So
maybe that would be the first time that Auburn is not abiding by the rules fully.
Well, if it were up to John Cohen, we would wait. So, all right, some more rumors. And we talked about rumors yesterday. People concerned with where Auburn is NIL-wise, and, what is that number? And I've seen a lot of numbers kicked around, and it seems to be everywhere you look, anywhere from 25 to 30 million seems to be the number if you want to be a top program. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't other programs above that 30 million mark. I'm sure Ohio State is. I could probably name a couple more.
Didn't they say that they were like 60 or something last year?
I don't know, man. They spent so much money. Everybody's like, if they didn't win it, then Ryan Day probably should have been fired. I mean, but anyway. Oh, by the way, off the note, and I've got to say this before I forget it, because I'll forget it and I'll never say it again. Did you see the potential of where Bobby Petrino could be headed?
I did.
What in the?
That was crazy.
Bobby Petrino to go join Bill Belichick at North Carolina. The cheerleaders up there need to watch out.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, stay away from cheerleader practice is all I can say. Who are they going to hire next? Sherrone Moore to be the defense coordinator?
Probably.
Let's bring all three together for one.
That whole place would explode. No, when I did get that notification, I looked at it and I said,
yeah, I meant to send you something
really?
on that. I forgot, but it was like, before I forget, I thought that was relevant to say that's interesting. But anyway, all right, 25, 30 million. If Auburn is in that range, then they should be competitive, Faith. They should be competitive on the open market. And again, I know that it's a transition year with a new coaching staff. I mean, I feel like I say this every year because it feels like we change a coach every year. But it is a transition year with new coaches. So you're getting a lot of players in. You're going to lose some that you had NIL money tied up with. So it's going to free up some NIL money to bring some other guys in.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Cam Coleman, Deuce Knight, Xavier Atkins, those are top guys that you want to keep. You're trying to get their deals in order first, and then you work your way down priority-wise. But if Auburn is in that $25 to $30 million range, they should be competitive for a roster.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, you and I were just talking about this before we got on here about how much NIL and how far away it's gone from NIL and what it means.
It never worked. It never was used right. The terms name, image, and likeness were to be for Faith Richardson to go out and tell everybody to go buy their tires at Joe's Tire Shack. And Joe's Tire Shack cut Faith Richardson a check for coming out and promoting their business.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a simplistic way to say what NIL was. You gave the player the freedom to go negotiate deals with Milo's or wherever and promote their business, and you join a partnership and they pay you directly. That ain't what this is. It never was that.
How are we now talking about how much these programs are spending on NIL resources?
It's just so screwed up. It's like everybody gave up on trying to cover it up, and they just said, "The hell with it." Everybody knows what I'm talking about. It's really, I'm paying for play. So let's just quit. We're just still going to use the term NIL like it means something. Like, can you name somebody that went out and got their own deal? And that's like, I know there's contracts, but they didn't go drive down the road to Larry Puckett Chevrolet and say, "Hey, you want to partner with me? I play football at Auburn. I'll promote I will tell everybody to come buy their cars from Larry Puckett Chevrolet."
The first one that I have seen since everything started was the other day. I was driving on Opelika Road, and Keyshawn Hall with Room to Room Movers was on a billboard. And that is the only one.
You think Keyshawn Hall went out and solicited that?
Oh my gosh, no.
Like,
I think last year it was Miles Kelly or something. And then
but again, it doesn't have to be the player going to get the deal. A company can contact that player and say, "Hey, would you represent us?" And they can cut that. So yeah, I mean, it works both ways, but that ain't what NIL is being. You're talking about this budget and everybody having enough money to basically pay people to come play for them. And they can
not use the perfect system.
Hey, what happened to this committee that was going to evaluate where are they at? Are they in some room?
They ran for
analyzing all these contracts.
No, they ran for the hills and got out of town because I
ain't heard squat about that anymore.
They probably threw all their electronic devices in the ocean and just.
I mean, how stupid was that to begin with? How can they determine what somebody's worth?
Well, that's everything that we were talking about before is like, what is worth? And that's exactly why I think Auburn is doing what they're doing now of the incentives. And once you reach, I mean, the other night when you're listening to a lot of NFL games, you hear them say, all right, they've got their 55th catch of the season. They now get, a $1 million bonus or whatever it might be. I don't know. That is so different from, all right, you guys are going to come to my school and you're going to get $1 million. You're going to get 500,000. Y'all have never stepped on the football field. You could still get hurt in preseason. You haven't even graduated from high school yet. Come to my school for $1 million.
I like
you don't have to even prove and step out on the field. You can ride the bench all season long.
You take it if you could get it. I would. No doubt. That's how stupid. That's how stupid all this is, really.
I wouldn't go to Alabama for $1 million.
Well, I know it. Yep. I think we all, we would all. There's lines that we draw in the sand for sure. All right. So who deserves the most? Who deserves the most NIL out of this roster? Defensively, if I'm looking at this roster, it's Xavier Atkins.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm going to pull up the depth chart. And we're going to look at where Auburn currently is right now, who has declared that they're leaving or have graduated, and then who's going to be back. But if I look over on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, Kieron Crawford is gone. Malik Blockton said he's in the portal. Xavier Atkins just said Robert Woodyard said he's in the portal. Kayan Lee in the portal. Jay Crawford in the portal. Keldra Falk's gone. So, I mean, majority of your starters are either gone from a graduation standpoint or eligibility standpoint or declared for the NFL draft standpoint, or they're getting in the portal. So the one you lock down is who? Xavier Atkins. That's the one that you're trying to lock down on the and he's indicated he's coming back. So I know we're talking about that. Obviously, Auburn and Xavier Atkins got together and got that done, right? So on the offensive side, who are your top targets there? Again, obvious. What happened to your light? You just went in the dark. It's okay. Let's keep rolling. It's like
dark now.
No, there it goes.
There we go. Okay.
There we go. Back.
It works.
Yep. There you go. Cam Coleman.
Right.
And Deuce Knight. Don't you think?
100%.
And you're putting money toward a guy that probably is not going to start this year. Think about that. Think about that. Who deserves the most? What is the plan for Alex Golesh and Deuce Knight? Well, obviously Byron Brown comes in. You don't feel like Deuce Knight's going to beat him out with 1 year left in what he's been able to accomplish, right? And by the way, let me correct myself. I corrected it on a comment. Somebody called me out after the podcast and said I was off. And I said back-to-back years that Brown put up 3,000 yards. He got hurt in 24, and I knew that. 23 was when he put 3,000 up. 25 is when he put 3,000 up. But he got hurt in 24. That's why his numbers dropped off significantly. But he was right. So I am saying, yes, I misspoke there. But Byron Brown coming in with 1 year left is going to be your starter, you would feel like. And
right.
Deuce Knight going to sit under him and learn, play when he's got an opportunity to play, but have the starting nod given to him next year.
And learn from the guy in front of you of everything that he's done at South Florida, and then also what he, is going to do at Auburn, whatever that might be. It's unbelievable how we just keep talking about some of these things and how if Deuce Knight ends up going and transferring somewhere else because they say he's going to start. Is that just somebody blowing smoke? What is that?
I know. I mean, he's where is that? It doesn't exist, I don't think, at a place that he would want to go play. Okay. Doesn't mean he can't go start somewhere because I think he can, but is it a place where he wants to go play? And is it a place that can give him what he wants? And I don't know that there's a lot of those out there. Okay. So I know he said Cam Coleman, Deuce Knight, but one that keeps kind of getting washed over that shouldn't get washed over is Jeremiah Cobb.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Cobb needs to be locked down. He needs to be a guy that is a priority. He is by far and away an easy 1,000-yard a year back. Should have had 1,000 easily this year. And somehow with 906 yards with 2 games to go and one of those games being against Mercer, he didn't get to 1,000. So Jeremiah Cobb's another one that who deserves the most on this roster. He's definitely one that deserves some of the top money.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And we were talking about some of the guys that might come in at that running back position from the transfer portal, but how Jeremiah Cobb would be the first guy there.
Right.
And I mean, again, like you said, should have had 1,000 yards this last year.
Easy.
Still makes me annoyed thinking about some of.
Oh God, I know every time we bring it up, it harbors ill will. All right. So with that being said, there are other guys that should demand top dollar or at least should be a priority. And I think Kayin Lee and Jay Crawford on the defensive side are, and I think from what we were told, were offered pretty dang good deals.
Yeah.
But maybe not the deals that they thought. Maybe they thought or think they can get even more. Nico Emealiava at Tennessee. So go test the water and find out nobody out there is willing to pay you what you think you're worth. And then you end up at UCLA and we see how all that played out. It was an embarrassment all the way around. Ended up being fine. He played and it was okay. But, is a couple $100 in the scheme of things in the long run from a comfortability level, I feel good about where I'm at level to go somewhere uproot and go somewhere completely different. I mean, look, I'm not scoffing at a couple $100,000. It's a lot of money. But in the scheme, I'm looking at the big picture. If you feel like you have the resources and the commitment and the backing and the support and the knowledge of the relationship of the coaches that you know, is it worth it? I don't know. I mean,
when they go and they test the waters with the portal and it doesn't end up ultimately working for them, does Auburn welcome them back with open arms with the same deals that they had talked about?
If I were doing this from a college standpoint, some people may disagree with what I'm about to say, but you offer a deal to somebody and you go, here it is. And you got X number of days past the portal window opening to take it. And if you decide to come back, there's your deal. I'm not going to hold it against you for trying. If you feel like you needed to go do that to get that out of your system, do it. But I'm not going to reduce it for them coming back. I'm going to stick and say, here's your deal. But you got X number of days to take it. And once that deadline, and it may be midway through the portal, you may go, hey, I'm not riding this thing out to January 16th, okay? Like, you can get in the portal and you need to get your business done. But by January 8th, that deal there is off the table.
I like that. I haven't heard anything like that. I haven't thought of anything like that. But I really like that, Brett. I think you should propose that to all of them.
Well, I just think from a college and program standpoint, coach standpoint, if he's going to go, he needs to go. If he's going to stay, he needs to stay. Give him a relevant amount of time to make a decision one way or the other. That way you got a chance to go out and make an offer. Because what if he waits to the 16th and then decides, oh, I'm leaving? He's been telling you, oh, I'm going to come back. I'm really thinking about coming back. And then at the last second, he leaves. Now what are you going to do? You don't have another portal window to go out in the spring and bring another corner back in. So you gotta protect yourself a little bit too.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's a good way to think about it for sure.
So, and then it could be this way. It could be, hey, here's your deal, but I'm going after somebody else. And if I get them before you make a decision, you're out.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you decide to come back, maybe it goes along the lines of what you said. There's not as much there to give you. You can come back, but you're not going to get the deal you had. So there's all kind of different ways to look at it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I don't know what those conversations look like with Alex Golesh and these players, but I'm sure there's something similar to that. All right, let's talk about some of our partners, and we always start with Sensagreen.
For air that's cool and clean over the holidays, make sure to call Sensagreen Heating, Cooling, and Insulation for air that is warm and clean. Call Sensagreen with Carrier. Turn to the experts.
And proud supporters of
Auburn Blitz.
Dang right. All the way around. Scout Program Management. Check them out online, scoutpm.com. Scout Program Management, the best in the business. What is Scout Program Management? They're a full construction management firm. And they take you from the start of your project to the very end of the project. They never leave you. And they make sure the contractors and everybody does exactly what they're supposed to do. And they deliver the product that you're paying for. And let me tell you, when you're operating a multi-million-dollar project, you need to have the best in the business taking care of it for you. That's what Scout Program Management does. Don't take my word for it. Go check them out. They are by far the best at what they do in the business.
Bunkers in downtown Auburn. If you want to go, listen to some good live music, eat some good food, watch all the games, whatever it might be, go to Bunkers. They have everything that you can imagine there. I mean, I know that they've been having some like beer game tournaments and stuff like that they have going on. I mean, Bunkers is just so creative. They've got so much going on. So make sure you go to Bunkers in downtown Auburn, and you can get in on the fun there.
Always a ton of fun. And guess what else you can do to have a ton of fun? You can go buy a golf cart at the Cart Source, Alabama's premier golf cart superstore. And I know people that have gone down there and purchased a golf cart, and they love it for whatever reason they needed one. For their neighborhood, for tailgating, for their farm, for hunting. Hey, they can customize them. The wheels, the audio systems, the seats, the outside look of the golf cart. Man, they got everything for you. So go check them out. Easy Go Cushman Yamaha Club Car. They are the best in the business. You know the common theme with all our partners?
They're the best.
They're the best at what they do. Like, I mean,
we only partner with the best.
Exactly.
Obviously.
I mean, nobody does it better than Sensagreen. Nobody does it better than Scout. Nobody does food and fun better than Bunkers. And nobody can give you a golf cart better than the Cart Source. And we're not even done with everybody yet. We got more partners that do it the best in the business. So, man, we're just blessed. What can we say? All right. Some more on this roster. You know, if you look at this thing hard enough, you kind of make you a little depressed before you go into the portal and know that you're going to replace some of these guys with some good talent. But, you know, Will Malik blocked and pulled the trigger and go somewhere else. Or will his loyalty and his relationships and some of the other things that he's built at Auburn. He's been a good ambassador for Auburn. Let's be honest about it. You know, there is still emotion tied to some of this, whether we like to think it or not, it seems like everything is so transactional all the time. But I truly believe some of these guys really love where they are. I think Cam Coleman is a prime example. I think if Cam Coleman is hot a commodity, obviously, as he is, and if he entered the portal, would be the best player in the portal, he would have done that already by now. He's waiting this out to make sure things line up. And I think if they do, he's going to come back.
So do you think there is a timeline on Cam on his announcement of whether he's staying or going?
I think once the portal window opens and we see a Byron Brown declare he's coming to Auburn, they have some conversations about that. I think that'll be what you solidify there. I think he's just waiting to see what the quarterback room is going to, and it should be what he does. Mm-hmm. That should be priority one for a player like Cam Coleman, because again, he has this massive ceiling. We have not yet seen what Cam Coleman can do in a whole season if he's given the full opportunity. And I think he's like, I need to be able to do that this year. He's not saying that selfishly. He's just saying, hey, I don't have many of these to prove myself. So I need to be able to maximize what I can do. And I think all these players are saying that now. And I get it. I totally get it.
On the offensive side, I mean,
man, there's a lot to prove.
Yeah. And again, I mean, you can't, when you have the quarterback that Auburn's had the last 2 years, the quarterbacks that they've had, you can't blame or put a lot of blame on some of the guys. And I mean, honestly, with the offensive line too, that's kind of also where some of this starts.
And tight end. And again, your old demeanor changes when I even bring that up. I did freeze frame that, by the way, earlier. I was going to post it up here for everybody to see your face, like the disgust.
You didn't even send it to me.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not even going to say. I'll send it to you later. So, but yeah, like I told you, it was like you smelled spoiled milk, and that's kind of what everybody feels like. That's an Auburn fan when you talk about that position. And look, it ain't poking a hole in fun at anybody that played that position. It just is what it is. It's just calling a spade. You know, it is what it is.
It's just what you watch.
And
literally saying what you watch. You watch.
Yep. All right. So let's talk about some potential targets. We talked about a few yesterday. Mm-hmm. Let's look at some offensive linemen. Cole Skinner is one that I think would be a target from South Florida. Definitely a guy that, again, I don't know that he's some world beater at guard. He was a 3-star, I think, coming out of high school, but he's 6'5", 325 pounds. And he has spent a majority of his time at guard. And, you know, I think he'd be another one of those pieces that you would take from South Florida. Again, if you got 22 guys in the portal, you don't need to go get 22 South Florida guys. That ain't going to equal out. But there are 3 or 4 or 5 South Florida guys I think you definitely would take. And he's one of them.
Yeah, and, you know, the familiarity right there with Alex Golesh and, you know, the offenses and stuff. And then another offensive guard, Robbie Martin from West Virginia, who was at West Virginia with Larry Porter.
Yep.
Alex Golesh is also very familiar with him as he and his staff recruited him out of high school. So you are seeing a lot of connections in a lot of ways with the guys that they're going after.
Right.
You know, which again, that's the relationships and stuff that we talked about earlier, I think yesterday. So that one would, I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't seen too much on him, but
yeah, I haven't either. But again, what are you noticing here? You're noticing connections and relationships.
Yep.
An edge rusher to watch from North Carolina is Tyler Thompson, and this was a 4-star guy coming out of high school. Again, with Jamonta Waller, Amaris Williams, if they stay in the portal and leave, and with Mildred Falk, Kieran Crawford leaving, I mean, he's probably one of the top 3 edge rushers in the portal right now. And I know their portal's really not open, but of those that have indicated. So Tyler Thompson is a guy to keep an eye on that Auburn would definitely go after, I think. He's got great size. He's 6'4", 250 pounds. He's a 4-star guy coming out of high school. Again,
that connection there is Larry Porter, who recruited him to go with the Tar Heels, and
it's all about connections, man.
Yep.
It's all about the relationships that you build. All right. We've obviously Kayin Lee and Jay Crawford did it to death, talking about them the last few days. But who's going to replace them if they leave? Look at a Jarvis Lee coming from South Florida. Again, does it make sense to take some of the guys from South Florida? Is Jarvis Lee Kayin Lee? I don't know. Are they kin? I don't know. They do have the same last name. Maybe he can just switch jerseys. Just hand him his jersey. Say, we're not even going to have to change anything. Jarvis Lee, 5'11", 185 pounds, a 3-star coming out of high school. Got to go get somebody. And if Alex Golesh feels like he's a player that they can add to this roster that they can use back there, and, something that, DeMarcus Van Dyke feels like is a good piece, then there you go. I mean, he and a couple of other guys, a safety, Fred Gaskin from South Florida, that's 5 right there that we've listed already from South Florida. Do you get all of them? Do you want all of them? That's the question.
How much are you paying for these guys?
Yep.
And how much are you paying for who else could be some of the other potential targets?
That's a good question. If you want to know what Gaskin did as a safety for South Florida, he was all first team AAC with 49 tackles, 2 interceptions, and a forced fumble. You got Eric Winters and Anquan Fagans that you feel like are going to be the guys stepping in. But is Fred Gaskin a guy that you can add to that room to really shore it up and help it?
There just be a cohesiveness between all of them out there. So, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So there's a few more. Again, we're going to continue to run down potential targets for Auburn. There's a few more. We talked about a few yesterday. There's a few more to kind of eyeball today, and there'll be even more as we move along. And this thing will ebb and flow. And who knows? Can you go get a very highly rated guy at a few of these positions? And we won't know who those are officially till the portal opens. And are you already communicating and talking to some of those guys at those positions? You better be.
Because if you're not, someone else is.
They already have.
Forget about waiting.
Yep, there is no wait there. So, okay, let's move to basketball. All right, basketball about to enter SEC play. You've got Queens coming up. You and I will not be at that game.
No.
But if you look at it from a standpoint of what do you want to see out of this team, moving into SEC play, if you had to prioritize one thing, Faith, that you want to see out of this Auburn team, what do you want to see them do and have worked on to improve going into SEC play? That is a must if they're to be successful.
No question, it's the defense.
The defense. I can't argue.
Not only have we talked about the offense and how it looks like an individual team, the defense also looks as if it is an individual team. And they don't look like they're in communication when playing defense. They most definitely don't look like they've improved at all from the first game of the year, which, or even the exhibition games where you and I were like, okay, well, it's the first time that they're really playing together, starting to learn more about each other and their playing style. There's no difference from the first games to now, which is even more alarming.
Yeah, 97 to Arizona, 73 to NC State. I mean, it's probably the best win Auburn's got in the pre-SEC schedule. Wouldn't you say? The NC State win at home.
Yeah.
Oregon, they're possibly a bubble. St. John's was a good win. That was a neutral site win. I would say they've got a couple of good wins. The rest, obviously, they, outside of Oregon, very much outmanned those teams. But I think the front court's where you've got to figure out a way to help the deficiency of the front court. We just don't have the bodies.
Yeah.
And I think when you look at this schedule, and I hate to say it, but when you match up against a team that has a bigger front court than you, I think it's going to be a struggle to win. I do. Especially if Auburn doesn't start doing some things better in the backcourt by really distributing the basketball, making the extra pass, doing the things they got to do, quit playing selfishly, quit doing one-and-done stuff on the offensive side. Because on the defensive side, I just don't think Auburn's going to be able to hang in there with a lot of these teams. And I think it's going to rear its head. I really do.
That's just the way that we've been able to describe the team, is just the playing of being an individual and not playing together as a cohesive team. And it's reflecting on both sides of the ball. It's reflecting every time you look out there. And I don't know if it's just because you're playing together for the first time as a team and you guys haven't grown up playing together, whatever it might be.
I'm going to be honest with you about something. It's a contagious thing, both sides of the ball. If you're not playing good on one side of the ball, it affects the other.
No question.
So, the motivate when you're scoring, man, you got that little extra pep in your step on the defensive side. You're maybe hitting the passing lane a little bit more aggressively. You're maybe manning your guy up, or you're fighting through a pick a little bit harder. When you're not scoring and when you're disgruntled on the offensive side, maybe you aren't trying as much on the defensive side. Maybe you're frustrated. I'm not giving them a pass. I'm not coming up with excuses. I'm just saying they go hand in hand. And you can look at the results of these games, and majority of them, you didn't get many Houston losses. When you lost, you got your doors blown off. You had one loss where you had a chance to win it at the end. The other ones, you didn't shoot the ball very well, and you damn sure didn't play any good defense in those 3 games.
Against Michigan, to beat a team that's scoring 102 points on you,
right,
and you're shooting 35% inside,
that's not going to beat anybody.
Is not going to beat anybody. And from the 3-point, you were shooting 42%, which is better than some of the other games that Auburn played and lost in. But 35% is not going to win games against. And again, Michigan, they look
unbeatable.
Yeah, they really do.
All right. let's fast forward to SEC play. Auburn's got to go to Georgia on January 3rd. I went ahead and did a little sneak preview of the ESPN matchup predictor. They got Georgia at 61.7%. When was the last time Georgia was picked to beat Auburn in basketball?
11-1 Georgia.
Yep. Now, who has Georgia played? I don't know who they've played. I haven't looked at it.
They beat Florida State, Cincinnati, West Carolina, West Georgia. The only loss they had, was Clemson in overtime. But again, I mean, okay.
They haven't played
123 points on Tennessee Tech. On Georgia Tech, they're scoring 92 points. Morehead State, 120 points.
They're scoring. Hey, look,
their first game or their second game of the season. I mean,
they are scoring the basketball for sure, which, should be a little bit alarming for Auburn. I mean, they've got to obviously, like you said, do better on the defensive side. And, Georgia's averaging 99.8 points a game and Auburn's averaging 84. Now, Auburn's played a much tougher schedule.
Yeah, there's no question.
But Georgia is 11-1, and they are ranked 23rd, and Auburn is now not ranked, by the way. They have fallen out of the top 25.
How many weeks was Auburn ranked number 1 last year? Was it in a row? Because you and I were talking about it every single episode. It was like, all right, week 6.
7, 8, something like that.
Yeah, and
I have to go back and look.
Now Auburn is not ranked at all in the top 25.
Different year, different team. All right, so you got Texas A&M coming in on January 6th to Neville. We will be there for that one. That's an 8 o'clock tip. What is the deal with these 8 o'clock tips? All right, so Texas A&M, they're averaging 95 points a game. They're 9-3, but Auburn is a 65.2% chance of winning that game according to ESPN's matchup predictor. So, of course, it's in Neville Arena. Auburn doesn't lose very often. And the ironic thing, when Buzz Williams was there, Auburn used to lose. That used to be the team they lost to in Neville, was Texas A&M. It didn't make a rip who they brought in there. If they just found 5 guys on the side of the road and put them in a bus and came to Auburn, Buzz Williams found a way to beat Auburn, Neville Arena. He had deciphered the code of how to come in that building and win. But anyway, they got a Alabama boy coaching, Bucky McMillan, at Texas A&M now. So that'll be interesting. And then Arkansas, we'll stop there. Arkansas comes in 9-3. Auburn is a 65.5% chance of winning that game. Arkansas averaging a little under 90 points a game. So that's Auburn's first 3 SEC opponents on the road at Georgia, and then 2 games at home against Texas A&M and Arkansas. And that's how it starts.
That's how it starts.
And you better defend your home court. That's all I can tell you.
There ain't no doubt.
Because the road is rough. The road is rough. Okay, Christmas Eve out there for everybody. All of you that are listening in your cars, watching at home, whatever you're doing. We hope you have a fun, safe, great time with your family over the next few days. Faith and I will be taking tomorrow off. Obviously, it's Christmas Day. But then we'll be back with everybody on Friday for a Friday morning podcast. So we'll be back. But I hope everybody has a great Christmas, right?
Yes, Merry Christmas, and have fun with your families and be safe.
Absolutely. I got to say this before we get off, and I haven't even told you this. If you had to pick out a present back from your childhood that stood out, that you were like so happy to get, you had to have it and you got it on Christmas Day, what was it? Do you remember?
It was a horse that was, I was pretty little at the time, but it was like so much bigger than me, and it came with a carrot and it moved. It was like battery operated, I guess.
Man, that's awesome.
And you could like get on it and it would like move its head.
I know what you're talking about.
It was the coolest thing ever. Loved it. That was my favorite gift ever. And because I've always wanted a horse growing up. So
And that was what you got.
That was my horse.
You thought you were something, didn't you?
Until I get my own horse, really. It's going to be out at the farm.
Going to be out the farm.
Yep.
There you go. Had to ask.
What was yours? Do you know?
I do know. I mean, I'll never forget it. It was, and you won't even know what the heck this is, but in all you 80s kids, you will remember He-Man, Castle Grayskull. Like, that was the thing to get that. It's like, if you got that, you were like, okay, man, you've done something. You've done something right during the year to get that toy. So, yeah, I remember getting that, and that was so cool to come in and see on Christmas morning.
Did Santa wrap your gifts or no?
No, Santa never wrapped my gifts.
Santa never wrapped my gifts.
No, no wrapping. Yeah. I just laid it out over there. My sister had her side, and I had my side.
Same.
I mean, that's those memories, man. Good memories.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Everybody put your favorite gift in the comments over there in the spirit of Christmas. Again, though, I'll let you send us out, Faith, here on Christmas Eve.
Hope everyone has the best day, best Christmas. Remember the reason for the season and celebrate with your families, friends, whoever. And Merry Christmas from us to you.
Absolutely. I can't even say anything else that'll top that. I'm just going to end with that and say Merry Christmas from all of us here at Auburn Blitz. We will see you on Friday. Have a great next couple of days, everybody.